Hello everyone, it's Yaroslav and Philosophy Man YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about the third new season of the well-known animation show Love, Death and Robots. I have two other videos on my channel devoted to this show. One is the analysis of one particular episode from the first season, Beyond Aquilas Rift. And the second is sort of the opinion or short opinion on the second season of the show. They're both in Russian, so not all of you can listen to them. Beyond Aquilas Rift is, to my opinion, is a masterpiece. It is more than just this show. It's you can watch it just as a work of art apart from the show. The second season was also good, but there were no big titles like Beyond Aquilas Rift. I was a fan of the show during the first and the second season. However, the third season is, to my thoughts, weaker, and I don't even know if it is worth to continue that franchise. However, let's start from the beginning. As it said, Beyond Aquilas Rift, I used the trailer montage in that YouTube video, and the automatic checks of the YouTube video said I cannot monetize that content, but that's okay because footage is not mine, obviously. But almost a year later, after I published that video, I got a message that video was moderated and got an age restriction. It is probably because of the sex scene it has. However, that scene is not pornographic, it's merely erotic, and also the same footage is on this trailer at the official Netflix channel on YouTube, and it doesn't have an age restriction, or at least it didn't have this restriction at the time I checked it a year ago on the Netflix channel on YouTube. But I will not risk using the trailers for the montage of the video anymore, because age restriction is actually sort of a prelude to a strike, and I will do my video more like my second video, which is just voicing up the names of the episodes and telling my thoughts about them. Love, Death and Robots is adult animation. All the episodes are made by different authors, and they often involve a lot of violence and sex, and some of them also involve rather deep thoughts. Beyond Aquilas Rift is a meditation on the nature of reality. It is very similar to Matrix, but I don't want to spoil it for you. You should watch it before and make your own opinion about that work of art. The second season also had some interesting episodes, but as I said, no really masterpieces. So, though I liked the episode about snow, a western, sort of a sci-fi western, it was good as a story, as an epic story. It's like watching the good, the bad, and the ugly second time. However, due to this genre, doesn't have any philosophy behind it. It's just a story. So the third season. The episode I like the most is called Bad Traveling. It is made with great precision to details of the animation. It has a neo-noir atmosphere, and it actually deals with the topics that are similar to those of the latest show Squid Game and a film platform. So there is some scarcity or danger of resources, and the group of people, some of which are violent, should take political decisions. How to deal with this situation, and all their decisions deal with life and death, and there's obviously people who should be eaten by a monster, as in this movie. However, it is not just a horror story, it's a metaphor for democratic or semi-democratic society, about the nature of politics and scarcity of resources that turns democracy into autocracy. And it is not that deep, but it is interesting. This episode is sure a good one, very good. The second place for me is a competition of two episodes. The very pulse of the machine is the episode with the great animation styles and great colors, and it deals with the old topic of the sci-fi. If you read or watched Solaris, you will understand what I mean. And as the source material is one of the best topics, the deepest topics in sci-fi, it also is smart episode. Swarm is also interesting, especially for those interested in biology and genetics. And it gives very interesting characters, if you could say so. Usually sci-fi is as good as it depicts aliens, and aliens usually are very alien looking, alien felt, but you need real good fantasy to work out the concept of such a character, and from one point of view you are shocking your watcher. From another point of view, you make him think and make him adjust to what is new to him. Star Wars, when they were filmed, were one of the biggest plus of that franchise. So that's how they showed the different creatures and different alien races, because there was just no paragon for that. They invented a whole new sphere for sci-fi just by depicting strange creatures. And the philosophy behind the swarm is interesting. So is the species that is not sentient or semi-sentient is above the sentient beings due to the emergent organization of the social system. Maybe ant is much more is stupid comparing to a human, but a mega colony of ants, of billions of ants, which is organized by more rules than just nervous centers. Maybe it's in a certain way more advanced, more adaptable, and in a sense smarter than a human. That's a thing to think about. So these two episodes are very good, and they sort of compete for the second place, in my opinion. Then there is episode Mason's Rats. It's sort of good, and it has an interesting animation, and the idea is understandable, but it is not that provoking, shocking, or thoughtful. You can just spend some time watching that. but it's just a satirical story. Then there is an episode called Jibaro, which is one of the most advanced animations from a technical point of view I watched in my life. But the plot itself is very simple. It's actually a remake of the old myth about sirens, ancient Greek myth about Odyssey. So it's not bad, but it's nothing new, and in this episode form wins over content. But the form is so beautiful that you should really watch it if you are into animations. And then there is an episode I want to say apart from all others, not because it's good. So in the first season and in the second season of Love, Dance and Robots, there were episodes I consider to be weak. One of them is an episode, I think, in the first season about Hitler. So it is just an anecdote about how Hitler, Adolf Hitler, a cold-blooded murderer who murdered millions of people, could have died, like being killed by someone or being killed by yogurt or something like that. And the sense of my criticism is actually that this episode is stupid. It doesn't bear any idea, it's just an anecdote, and also morally questionable whether you should, if you joke about such people as Adolf Hitler, at least you have to make funny jokes. The satire is a weapon, but if your satire is not funny, then it is the weapon that is used against you. However, this Hitler episode has quite good animation and character design. So again, from a technical point of view, it should be watched. But there is this episode in the third season which is called Kill Team Kill. Well, I'm not afraid to spoil anything for you, but because there is no actual plot, or it's rather so plain, banal and stupid, so the animation is 2D with 3D elements, but it's good, but because of the primitivism of the story, you just don't understand why actually someone wasted computational powers of rendering and artist talent to create that. That is just stupid, dumb in the worst sense of the word. Dumbest thing I watched and loved Death and Robots. Why? Why Fincher chose this episode over, I think, some of the episodes that were much more interesting, or at least not that stupid. There was an episode with a similar plot in the first season, I think, when the military commando team was fighting vampires in some vaults, but that had an idea in it, so they managed to escape one monster to meet the another one. So it was sort of a reasoning whether it is always good to defeat one monster, if there is always the second one. But Kill Team Kill is just about bunch of guys hunting a cyber grizzly bear, and also it contains an episode of showing you male genitalia, which could be sort of a provoking if it was some thought behind it, but they are just showing it. Why? So particularly at this episode, I even thought maybe I should stop looking the third season because it was so frustrating. However, the next episode was Swarm and it was very good. There also is an episode, Night of the Mini Dead, which is sort of a parody. I would say it's stupid as well, or maybe I don't get it. And I'm not a critic of the zombie movies, because World War Z is quite a good movie, and Train to Busan is a masterpiece, a great zombie movie with a thought behind it. But maybe someone will like it. Then there is an episode in Vaulted Halls Entombed. It's not that stupid, it's a Kill Team Kill, but it's very banal. If you watched the pre-production trailer for Diablo 4, you watched the same plot, and it is much more interesting in the Diablo version. And all the episodes connected to military special forces should be banal and stupid. And then there is also the first episode, 3 Robots Exit Strategies. Well, I don't like it, but I think the animation is great, and it contains the satire, the parody, the satire on the political structure of the contemporary Western society. And I understand there is some joke for our people connected to cats, but I don't like it. Not really. But someone may like it. And then there is a thing generally on the franchise of Love, Death and Robots I want to talk separately. So, as I said, I was a fan of it, but this third season, despite having some very good episodes, doesn't have masterpieces, and it has real failures. And there is a big general problem that on the third season of the show, it starts to repeat itself. So, Swarm sort of repeats some major topics, as well as the very pulse of machine repeats the topics in the second season. And Bad Traveling somehow is repeating the atmosphere of this snow episode in the second season. If it goes like that in the future, then there is no point in continuing. This show is becoming worse, and it doesn't have the initial powerful idea of the first season anymore. And it is just another festival of animation short movies, of course of a higher quality than most of them, but not something you should be proud of or be a fan of. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed my opinion, though there is no montage in this video. See you. Goodbye.